So now I'm going to show you how to make a Google form that you can use to collect attendance. So in your Google Drive, you're going to click on New, and you're going to click on More, and Google Form, and it's going to bring you to a blank form. And I mean, you can keep this form as basic or as complex as you want, but I would skew more towards the basic. Call it attendance for March 24th, 2020. You can put in some instructions. Please fill out this form by 3 p.m. as our class check-in / attendance. And then you can just have various questions. And it could be, like I said, as simple as or complex as you want. We can do student first name, and then it defaults, a lot of defaults in here, like this defaulted right to short answer. And then we could do student last name, again, short answer. You can ask them, you could leave it as at that. You can ask them, do you have any questions on the last assignment? I'll leave them space to answer it. And I mean, you could keep it literally as simple as that, and that can be your attendance form. Some settings that you can play around with. You can collect their email address if you want, but you don't need to if you ask for their first and last name. That's up to you. It defaults to restricting to users in our association. Makes sense because it's an attendance form for our school, so I would recommend just leaving that on. Limit to one response. You probably want to limit to one response. You don't want them doing the attendance form more than once so that it messes up what you're looking at. Edit after they submit. You can allow that if you'd like, and then save. Now, this would be a perfect attendance form if you were doing it one form per set, but you could also do an attendance form for all of your classes. Then I would recommend putting in set. Maybe they have an example like 7-1, set 5, and then they have to type that in so that you can sort by the sets in one spreadsheet, and then you can just have attendance all in one spot. So again, that's your call. Now, another thing you would want to do is make sure all of these questions are marked as required so that they can't skip it. And let's check any other settings that you might want to have. This confirmation message under presentation is just what they will see after they submit the form. You could say something like, thank you for submitting your daily check-in. Please be sure to check my Luhai for assignments and presentations for today. You're not doing quizzes, so that's not necessary, so you can cancel that. Now, you want to see what it's going to look like for a student. You want to make sure that you have a title there, so it's pretty clear. You can go to the eye view up there. Maybe you want to now change something around, like I want this set to be up here, so that's the order I want it to be in. Maybe you want to change the theme. I like blue, or I want to have an image. A lot of choices. Could be as simple or detailed as you want it to be. And then you can decide that you're ready to send it. So sending it means you're giving it to someone to fill out. You're not giving them editing access by sending it. You're just sending it to them to answer. If you wanted to give someone else editing access to it, maybe you have a TA that you want to be able to check attendance for you, or you're going to be absent and you want Jess or someone to be able to check your attendance, then that's when you would add collaborators, but you most likely want to keep this for yourself. So you send it, if you have a group email like Computer Logic Set 5 at luhi.org, it would send it to everyone in that set. If you don't have a group email for your classes, then you have to write each kid's email address in individually or copy it from MyLuhi. The default subject is attendance, is the name of your form, and the default message is I've invited you to fill out a form. You could change any and all of this. Another option is if you don't want to email it out, you can click on the middle one, which is a link, and you can probably want to shorten the URL just because it's shorter, and then copy and paste it to where you want it. So I know some teachers are putting their Google Forms for attendance right on the bulletin board on a daily basis. So that might be what you choose to do. As long as it's clear, like in that master document that we have about what the attendance is going to be, just make sure that form ends up where you want it to go. So then there you just copy it, and you wouldn't email it, you would just paste the form. So I'm going to send this form to me so I can fill it out and show you what the results look like. I'll send it to my work email, not my school personal email. Okay. So go to my Gmail here. So this is what it would look like for a student. Fill out the form. This time. Okay, thank you for submitting your check-in. This is the confirmation message. And if they needed to change anything, go back and change it. So now we can look at the responses. Now, when you get responses, there's a couple different ways to look at it. There's a summary. So this would show you a summary of everyone who had answered it. A lot of times it gives you different graphs, especially if it's a multiple choice type thing. Who did option A, who did option B. You can break it down by question. You can break it down by the individual. So these are all my individual answers. If you're starting, as you start to get a lot of data, it's a million times easier, in my opinion, to create a spreadsheet for the day, and it will pull in real time all the data into the spreadsheet. So you can make the spreadsheet immediately after you create your attendance thing, and as you get, it's dynamic. So as you get responses to your attendance form, you might need to refresh, but as you refresh it, it's going to start populating all of the data into your Google Sheet. And that's where I'm thinking it might be easier just to have one instead of multiples, because then you could just sort by column E, and you'd get all the set 1s, then you get all the set 3s and all the set 5s, as long as everyone's filling it in that way with set space number. So that you might have to play around with that. But you'd be able to see the timestamp of when they actually submitted it, their first name, last name, and if they have any questions. And then that's taken care of March 24th. Now, do you have to make a new one every single time? No, definitely not. Under the 3 dots over here, you have the option to make a copy. And you would just call it attendance for March 25th, 2020, and hit OK. And you would get a brand new form. Notice the title changed. Let's change it here so that it reflects the new date. But you see all the responses, there's no responses to this form now because it's a brand new form. So my response to the previous form will not show up. And if you go to make a spreadsheet, it wouldn't be there. And then you would just do the same thing. You'd go to send, you'd go to link. If you're posting it somewhere, copy that new link, put it on your bulletin board, put it wherever you're putting it, email the students, however you've told them you're going to communicate the attendance with. And you could just make a bunch of copies of this form. So That's basically using Google Forms for attendance. Again, I think the most optional aspect of this is to collect the set number because you might just decide to have different attendance forms for each set. I think you have to decide what's manageable for you. Maybe start out with having multiples for each set. You have one form for set one, have one form for set three, and then try it once and see if you like it better all in one place. And this has to be manageable for you. So that's the gist of it. I don't know that there's anything else really to it. I mean, Google Forms you could do so much more with if you're looking for information about Google Forms. Add videos, add images, take questions from other places, add all different types of questions. But for the basics of taking attendance, that's pretty much all there is.